Hi everybody, hello, this is Tsunami and I'm back with you with another video. Today we're going to talk about the mrbeast situation, and I didn't think I was going to be first in this video. Normally I'm like the last one when it comes to commentary shit, so appreciate me for being a little bit first and subscribe. Now, we're going to talk about the video. So DogPack, he essentially put out another video. This one is where he interviews someone that used to also work for mrbeast. Someone that was more so in the deep cut behind and inside of the videos. So we're just going to highlight it. Essentially, we're going to look at some of the stuff, we're going to talk about it, and we're ultimately going to talk about the Jimmy situation as a whole. What I think about it, at least. So let's just jump right into it, honestly.
My interrogation with former mrbeast employee Jake Weddle. A lot has happened since my last video. After posting, I got hundreds of messages from former mrbeast employees, and I had them all like send proof of former employment. You know, just people showing their support or telling their stories of you know, fake videos or unsafe practices, you know, toxic workplace, stuff like that. Also, I heard from a very credible source that mrbeast has been sitting on a response to part 1 because he was worried if he posted it, I would instantly respond with part 2, you know, like this is Kids Bop, Kendrick Lamar vs. Drake. Also, I know mrbeast's secret CEO has been practically like harassing my people on, you know, hey, what's in part 2? What does he know? So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes. And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that. So yeah, I've gotten dozens of messages from former mrbeast employees of very serious allegations. So I just want to put a call to action at the start of this video that, you know, if you have a story, you can DM me. Just make sure you send proof of employment first, because I get a lot of DMs. And like, as much as I meme and joke around, like, I take anonymity very seriously, so without explicit permission, I don't go public with anything.
Alright, so let's talk about that a little bit. So, to say that he doesn't have any proof would have to be a lie. His first video did numbers, it was damning to say the least, and even though it was all just his account of when he worked at with mrbeast, it was still convincing. At least convincing enough to the public. Jimmy has yet to respond, but he's definitely trying to do damage control, especially with the whole Ava situation. I'll be doing that in another video, I promise you. But yeah, it's just not looking good for mrbeast. So when it comes to these sexual allegations, I believe it's true. You know, Jimmy does a lot of videos where like, it takes days, it spans days. It's not like, sure, we can see it all in one day, but a lot of these videos, like the latest one, the Munker video, they were there for like what? Was it 90 days? So long ass time. Long ass time.
Comfortable. You know, you trap these girls in a circle and make them sleep on rough turf and get them high on paint fumes, and then you try to f them.
Okay, that that seems really dark.
No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Anyway, so that will be part 3. So, you know, mrbeast, do with that information what you will. I know Chucky didn't want to respond to those allegations. So anyway, my interview with Jake Weddle, I chose to interview him because I thought he was perfect, because he was both on camera and behind the scenes in 2019 and 2020. And also, what people don't know is that he came back in 2021 to be the sole contestant of a mrbeast video, which never got uploaded because it went very badly. He also knows about another portable document format who was working at mrbeast while actually on the registry. And I'll get more into that story at the end of the video. So I got his DM.
Now that's if out of everything, that is the most damning thing you can say. He's saying there was a PDF file working literally with mrbeast, the #1 children's entertainer YouTuber. And he was on the registry. It doesn't get any more damning than that. mrbeast, what the fuck are you gonna do? And ultimately, I have many videos I want to make on this topic, because there's 2 main videos I want to make, and I'm not gonna spoil them yet, but there's a history to this shit. There's a dark history to this, stemming from Greece.
The ending will blow your mind. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Jake Weddle, everybody.
I'm Jake.
Alright, so I will watch the video for you guys. Don't worry about it. We're going to skim through essentially the most important parts of it. So first we're just going to have Jake Weedle introduce himself and then kind of talk about what he does or did.
Jake Weddle. Most people who, if you know me from mrbeast, I'm a deep cut. I'm in a few of the videos, sometimes maybe purposefully kept to the shadows a little bit. I'm in the cutting room floor a lot of the time. But I've been in some videos. I've worked on a lot of them. I was there from 2019 to 2020, 2021-ish when I came back and did some more. I was there when they were authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a company. He's like a TV show now. It went from YouTuber guy with a camera to Amazon. The culture around there was very unspoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. And these people got random bonuses and were usually moved up, had more screen time. And then there was people who, if you had a disagreement or butt heads with Jimmy or just you didn't like it, you know, you were the other half. And I consistently was in the half that Jimmy doesn't like me. That's fine. I don't like him either. It's okay. Oh, that feels so good to say. I don't like Jimmy. I hate you so much. He didn't want anyone to get more popular or have more of a way out necessarily. Like, oh, I'm doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave and talk about me negatively. And I could tell that the yes men were, you know, doing well. And I was, you know, disgruntled for quite some time. So I've talked to reporters, right? Like publicly. And I've always had to choose my words very, very carefully because I don't want to say anything I don't stand behind, obviously. So I used to talk to people. I used to glaze Jimmy publicly for things I do genuinely think are true. But then it's like, well, how come we didn't talk about the working conditions? Well, I wanted a career. I didn't want to, you know, speak ill of YouTube's golden boy and then I'm blacklisted forever. I tell people I was talking to you, and they go, "Don't, what are you doing? You're gonna kill your career." It's like, I have to or I'll be sad.
I mean, and I get it. I absolutely get it. Right now is the best time to talk about Jimmy if what you're saying is true. If what you're saying ends up being false, it's damning. But if it's true, okay. I mean, I'm not saying you won't get a boost to your career, but people will know that you're a person with integrity, one that they should work with, and one that they should trust. Jimmy, whose main focus about the videos was that the videos were not fake. They're not fake videos. Everything we do is real. We spend the real money. The fact that everything was proven to be fake, it just kills integrity. It's hard to trust mrbeast after that. It's very hard. And I understand why he didn't want to talk about it, because why would you not want a career? I get it. How could you insult America's golden child from the instant? You know, like, I have issues with work. I have issues at work myself. I'm not going to complain and bitch because I want to keep the peace. Even though I know I'm the best and I'm the one that's carrying everyone on my back. It's better to have useless people sitting on your back than annoying nags try and bring you down. Still on your back, though.
Talking about, if I was working on a TV show in the 90s, on a show that was a quarter as successful, I could retire today. But now I make dog shit pay, making gajillionaires more money. And I just walked into the writer's room, and that's one of the reasons why I left, was because I just walked in there and asked for not necessarily a gajillion dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional to the work I was doing, given how much revenue that work was doing. And then, you know, I talked about that, and I talked about the Writers Guild and how this is what Writers Guild industry standard is for the streaming internet content with ads. I thought that was the closest thing to YouTube, and I didn't even bring up residuals, because, oh my God, if I got residuals for every video I worked on, boy, howdy, I could retire. But yeah, the other thing I talked about was there was another writer there, older.
And let's talk about that. Let's actually talk about that. You know, the videos that you make on YouTube, I am not monetized, so I can't even tell you figures. Once I'm monetized, I'll be able to tell you guys numbers. I will. But right now, let's just assume that mrbeast makes about 100,000 per video. I don't know how much it takes to make a video. Obviously, you assume from the titles it takes maybe $1 million. I don't know, but it takes a lot of money to make mrbeast. It just takes a lot of money for him to get the money from his Feastables, his plushies, you know, every brand that is related to mrbeast, essentially. But he gets a lot of money from ad revenue. Let's talk about ad revenue. Let's not even worry about views, because YouTube is basically for views. But ad revenue, mrbeast gets a lot of money off of ad revenue. And especially now that he posts videos on Twitter, that's essentially double the money. So if you're not paying your recurring characters money at all, a decent amount of money, or even a residual for the videos they did, that's kind of crazy. If it's me, I would have a system with my accountant where we would be able to pay everybody who's worked on the video, you know, in perpetuity. And then we'd be able to show them, hey, this is how much the video is made. This is obviously the agreed percentage that we said you would have. So this is what you got. And, you know, it'd be a fair system. But as for Mr. Beast, you don't become the richest and stay the richest by being fair.
I feel really guilty about the way this like shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, like, it's fucked up, you know, that's how the pay is. And I want you to get paid more, you know, because you deserve to get paid more. You know, I don't have a kid. And he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, you know, because when you grow up with, you know, nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did, you know. You get a little something, you don't want to lose it. So he didn't want to rock the boat. But he said, hey man, if that's how you feel, you know, like if that's like, I trust you. He stood with me. He went to that meeting with me. And I said my piece, he backed me up. And I said, I need X, Y, Z or I'm out of here. And they said, bet. And they gave me a severance check the next day. And they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it. Me, I was over the moon. I was like, you're going to give me a check and I get to leave? You know, I don't get to deal with the yeah, how many Orbeez can I fit up my asshole every day? You know, and I get to go home and you're going to pay me to leave. I was over the moon. And he was devastated.
And, you know, that's real. Hey, that's real. I'm glad this man is able to recognize that. 'Cause that's real. That's real as shit. I understand. No dependencies myself either. 20-something, young-ish. But essentially, I get that. Alright? Give me my money, I'll go. Fuck you. It's essentially how I feel about my job right now. But to have someone else who has kids, who has dependencies, who relies on this job, even if they're even like the same age or even a year older than me, or even younger than me, they just have all those people that they gotta depend on. You know? So I get why he's crying, I get why he's upset about it. You know? It's just a situation he fucked up on. That's really what it is. It's sad. As sad it is to say that. It is what it is.
And I really regret that. But you know, me and him are really still tight. We're still good friends. So
that's good.
Yeah, he's doing good. He's a good guy. I love that guy. He's doing good. You gave one guy $10,000 who needed it to eat, and now the revenue you generated from that video is way more than what you gave. I think when he's generous on.
Yeah, it's probably like the money probably gained from that is probably like what 10 times 100,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, now he's right. I never understood those people. Like, this isn't even just Mr. Beast. People have done this shit for a long time, starting from like FouseyTube and all that. People have been shoving cameras in homeless people's faces and in the faces of people that are, you know, either, you know, I just had an epiphany. That's why this whole PDF thing with Vitality is doing so well, because we are marketing evil, because they are evil. I will admit that they are evil. We are marketing evil, and we're having people like Vitality, who are the good in this situation, the only good available besides the police, wailing on, degrading, destroying, insulting, everything against this evil. And if it's something good, we want to promote it. We want to show that we are also good, or we are either better or better than the evil of the world, whatever, and give that homeless person money, food, whatever, right? It's all just an act. A lot of it's just an act. I mean, Vitality, I think actually does care about, you know, stopping PDF files, and maybe all the rappers do too, but a lot of it is definitely for publicity. There's no point in promoting it. You could easily just call the police if you have all this evidence, but there's a reason to the promotion, there's a reason to Vitality making a whole show about it, and there's a reason for Mr. Beast pretending to be, I mean, he's a philanthropist, but there's a reason for all the cameras. But there was a moment where Weedle, he wasn't part of the Mr. Beast set, and at that time, this is when he's explaining. So before we had the explanation of what he did before, you know, that was part 1 of his Mr. Beast journey. Part 2 of his Mr. Beast journey is everything that he's going to discuss now. And I'm going to tell you, it's some pretty damning, I don't want to say allegations because he's talking from his experience, but for Mr. Beast, these are allegations.
We were doing one of those hide and seek videos. Again, you know, at the time they were a lot realer. So I got caught, and when you get caught, you know, you go to the place where you get caught. And I don't know if there's footage of this. I don't know if, you know, I definitely didn't make the final cut. But he says to me, "All right, you're going to jail. You know, like your dad." And like, it's a joke. But when my friends do it, it's fine. And Jimmy just wasn't my friend. He was my boss. 3 days at a maximum security prison. If I did do mini challenges in that, I got paid. I was, you know, clocked in with a rate, and I would get paid and compensated for those. But there was one video I was in. I got paid a lot for it, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out because it didn't go well. There was a video. I'm locked in a cage at his whim, and I have to do things to get the cash I need to live. And I got these cameras on me all the time. And I was unwell. I had editors coming up to me saying, "You good, bud?" And I was like, "Yeah, why? You're clearly unwell." Whole video, I guess the budget's, you know, so much money up in flames because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. And so I wanted to be a good sport, and I wanted to get the boost, and I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, "How long do I have?" He goes, "Until I get back." And I'm running until 3 a.m. When I got off the treadmill, oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid. I got off the treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, you know, make sure I was good. Then that's when I was like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. And that's when I get the psych in, and I talk to the psych about how I'm not well, and like I said, there was a lot of good people over there that was saying, "You gotta pull him out." Yeah, I had friends that did some freelance work, and they would tell me, they'd be like, "Yeah, everyone knows you over there. Everybody loves you." They go, "Oh, Jake Weddle, love that guy. Shame what happened to him." And they didn't let me leave right away either. They wanted to make sure, everything was fine. So I just, slept for a while. They turned the lights off. And they brought it on my friends, to make it. They brought it on people I liked, and Jimmy. Then everybody was around me, making sure I was good, making sure I was okay. But Jimmy had his he was sitting in the chair turned around like an evil villain. Swear to God, everyone was looking at me, and he was like Lex Luthor over there. And he turns around, he stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. You know when you're watching a video and he's like, "Oh, stop, you're gonna make me cry," and he like touches his eye or whatever as if he's crying. He's just. I didn't have to pretend to do that shit. She says, as if rehearsed by his lawyers. Yeah, your mental health's the most important thing. I just want to make sure you're okay. And the last thing we want you to do is. I can almost hear the word "Sue" come out of his mouth. The S. He just stopped right before it got out. I did not get the 300K. What I got. He goes, "Think of it this way. At least you get to keep what you earned. You were in there for XYZ days. You did XYZ challenges, so you got, 100,000 some change, you know, give or take. You know how much money I spent in taxes in 2021? I spent $44,000 in taxes alone. And then they did the video with somebody else, and they worked out the kinks. And then it still got in some hot water, and I knew it would. And I've wanted to say a lot of this for a long, long, long time.
And oh god, another solid. So that was just crazy. If all that is true, if all of that is true, then that is just crazy to have people in those kind of conditions to pretend to give a fuck about them. Like, I'm not surprised Mr. Beast is like that, but that's really the price you pay to be the #1 YouTuber. Wow.
Saying sue. Also, as far as like, he could have said no, he could have left at any time. I want to show this segment from an internal document at Mr. Beast called How to Succeed in Mr. Beast Production. Specifically on page 19, there's a paragraph called No does not mean no. Already insane.
Hold on, let's read that ourselves. When dealing with people outside Mr. Beast Productions, never take a no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of, you can call the local Dollar Tree and the person that answers says, no, you can't film here. That literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if any are fans of it, and any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter and try their social team, etc. If after all avenues are exhausted, you are left with a no, that doesn't mean don't try the other Dollar Trees, because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules. Basically what I'm trying to convey is, what we call pushing through, no, don't just stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of my many tools that, when combined dramatically, improves your probability of success when producing here. It's the combined dramatically for me that kind of got me a little puzzled. It's like, yo, you're ready to really break the law, break policy, get people essentially fired, essentially. Because who knows what happens to these store managers that allow all the filming and shit. You're ready for all of that. Just because a no doesn't really mean a no, that's a scary model. Scary model.
Because it's sort of, it seems producers kind of need to use your land, and the farmer might be like, okay, but you know, I have animals, you can't be making really loud noises, no pyrotechnics, and you got to clean everything up. So the producer's sort of incentivized to lie and say, or maybe the producer doesn't even actually know the total contents of the video, right? Things changed last second. So they're very like, they're financially incentivized to be manipulative, and sort of, they're put in positions where it's like, oh, it's either the producer's job or a civilian's job, like where it talks about, hey, maybe the manager would be willing to bend the rules. Well, you shouldn't really be pressuring civilians to bend the rules. That could get them fired, you know? I'll show you a real life example. This is unused evidence from part 1. I had seen this Reddit post titled Mr. Beast leaving trash behind and debris at film site in Ayden, North Carolina. Apparently he left a large boat in a pond as well as debris around the film site in the bottom of the pond weeks and weeks after the agreed time frame. This actually rendered it unsafe for campers and almost delayed the camp's opening date multiple times due to not being able to get in contact with Mr. Beast to get the stuff cleaned up out of the area. So I actually know that this is from a Mr. Beast video called Protect the Yacht, Keep It. Where at the end of that video, he actually says,
And if you're wondering, yes, we did ensure the lake was completely cleaned up after this video. For the love of God, subscribe so we can pass T-Series.
Yeah, so he says at the end of the video that they made sure it was cleaned up. I was actually on site for part of this production. I was at this camp. So I decided to send an email out to the camp, basically saying, hey, I heard these rumors. I'm investigating similar incidents. And the camp responded, actually not denying the claims, going on to say, I am sure that there are no perfect film productions, just as there are no perfect people. I am grateful for the opportunity that we had to host the production crew, and because grace, or forgiveness, has been offered to me so freely, I will choose to offer the same. So clearly alluding to the fact that there was a wrongdoing by Mr. Beast's production team.
And you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. You know, like if you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that. And he's working at a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started. And you know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around, and whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? And that your face can be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender with a physical mask? Like, do I have to, is it more on the nose? Or I don't know why they let him go, because there's rumors back and forth, you know, so I don't know why they let him go, but he did leave at one point. Even if that guy didn't do anything, they still knew about it and he was still around. And what if he's one of the people in the Discord servers? What if he's not? I don't know. But when I was there, they called him Delaware. It's like, why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname? Colloquially? Like, you know, yeah, it's Delaware. Don't ask him why, you know? The fuck? And Jimmy knew about it? The likelihood that he didn't know is astronomically low.
So the allegations, the big ones, the last part of this video have to do with a guy named Delaware. Now, I don't know if you guys are fully aware of it, but there was a guy, I think his name was June the Viking. I'm probably very incorrect about his name, but I think this is the same guy. So I found some information that that kind of says it all. So on Reddit, I'm a Redditor, leave me alone. His name is Delaware, Jake the Viking's brother-in-law. So I knew he had a resemblance to Jake the Viking. I'm not gonna lie to you. They looked very similar. I'm glad it's not Jake the Viking, because you see this Jake the Viking has like a following. Yeah, it'd be very sad if it was him. Looks like he's a Republican too. Irrelevant though. Honestly, don't care. We don't care about that right now. What we care about is what we're seeing. So Delaware, Jake the Viking's brother, but they knew about this 10 months ago. Oh yeah, they got him. So this is really who he is. He can't go back to Delaware. I don't know why the fuck his name is Delaware. But he's on the list. This is the list of Delaware Sex Offenders Central Registry. The person was actually between 1 to 11 years old. Oh my god. So that's damning. No, that's just extremely damning.
Everyone at your company knows, but somehow you don't know. I think that needs more of an explanation than just saying, I didn't know. Well, how didn't you know? How did this person get into the company? And you know, a company that makes content for children and is around children. So yeah, Jimmy, I think we need an explanation from you, or you know, your lawyers and PR people and representatives and spokespersons, and on how you could have not known that there was an offender at a high level in your company. And while you're...
And what I really want to understand, and this is essentially the end of the video, so who cares about that? What I want to understand from MrBeast, if this guy was there, you can afford a service like E-Verify, which is what people use to check a person's background history, not only to see if they're actually legal to work in the US, but you know, anything else, anything of importance. I think if you are one of the biggest children's entertainment YouTubers in the world, this is a worldly thing. In the world, not knowing you have a sex offender is kind of ludicrous. So I think he knows. I'm very disgusted. I'm very surprised. I wonder if Jake the Viking is going to have a video out, but regardless, this has been the drama. This is currently what's happening, and our next video is definitely going to be on Ava. With someone like Ava as MrBeast's close friend, it's very unsurprising that he may have known about the other guy, Delaware. But what do you guys think? Tell me your thoughts, your feelings, and I will see you in the next one. It's the Tsunami shining the fuck out. Peace.